Hey guys, Stephen with Foxtrot Family Law answering some questions on ABO this afternoon. As we've mentioned, ABO, ABVO.com is essentially Facebook for lawyers, different profiles of real live lawyers practicing in different fields of law, answering questions, writing legal guides in different fields of law. Lots of good general information that obviously, and of course, is not to be construed as legal advice specific to your unique situation. With that in mind, let's dig in. We've got a child custody question from the state of Alabama. I'm not going to get more specific than that, but short question and to the point, and I like this, and I like the question itself. Can I just keep my children if the mother let me get them for a weekend? And then the subpart. Neither one of us went to court to say who has full custody of our children. We both stay in Alabama. So the answer, first of all, is yeah. Like, yes. Even if there was a court order, can I just keep my children if the mother let me get them for a weekend? Yeah, you might get in trouble if there's a court order that says otherwise, but yeah, you can always just do that. Sometimes we get overly lawyery, and I apologize for this, but yeah, you can do that. It's just a matter of whether or not you can do it legally and whether or not you can do it without getting yourself in some trouble. But specifically to this question, and let me sort of rephrase it in a way that I think is going to give this person the information they need. Is it legal for me to keep my children if the mother lets me get them for a weekend and there's no court order? Okay, so we warn our clients against this all the time. If you are a co-parent and do not live with the other side, and you do not have any court order in place whatsoever about, establishing paternity, who has legal custody, who has physical custody, what's the visitation schedule, you are opening yourself up to a nightmare. I mean, a legal, procedural, and actual nightmare that somebody could just take your child, move off to a different state, and now, even though you've got your court order, because you're like, they ran off to Kansas with my child, so I've got this Alabama court order that says, give me my child back. I assure you, the sheriff's deputy of whatever the heck county in Kansas does not care about your Alabama order. So you're going to have to take your Alabama order, file something in Kansas to adopt it, to localize it in Kansas. Then you can get Kansas deputy to go out there, pick up the child, somehow get the child back to Alabama. Anyway, I'm just creating an absurd scenario of what can happen to people when they operate without a court order, when they exchange children without a child custody order, when they try to do weekends and informal agreements without an official court order. This is where both sides, honestly, need to lawyer up and get into court as soon as possible. Neither side here is doing what they're supposed to do, but it's not too late. Certainly, obviously, they've worked together to get this far, but it sounds like we're getting pretty close to a breaking point as far as what is going to happen next with people taking unilateral action. One quick break and I'll be right back. Sorry, just had to check on something here at the house. Thank you for your patience. And honestly, with the editing, it probably just went straight through, so never mind. But yeah, so if our question is, can I just keep my children if the other side doesn't have some court order that says I got to give them back? Yeah. Now that person, you're going to need a birth certificate. You're going to need something that says, this child is mine. Here's the birth certificate where it says my name, I'm mom or dad, here's my license, here's child, and somehow, prove that that's the child. I guess possession might be 9/10 of the law on this, which is a weird thing to think about when it comes to child custody. But yeah, both people are in a pretty volatile, unpredictable, unenviable spot here. But the answer to your specific question is yes, you can keep the child. I don't necessarily recommend it. And I'm not recommending anything. This is just general information. about some general question, and honestly, I don't have any context to say anything else about it. But generally speaking, if there's no court order, you're not in violation of anything. That's your child. If you signed an acknowledgement of paternity, if you were placed on the birth certificate, the law in Alabama, as I understand it, is that you have custody rights until a court says otherwise. And it's almost like you have 100% custody, the other side has 100% custody, and it's all sort of some mix, like in grade school when you mix all the colors together and it just looks like a black purple mess. That's your custody situation right now. So I recommend you guys lawyer up, get some things in front of the court in good faith, establish some bright lines about who is supposed to be where by when, and who's taking the child when and how and who and when, and everything else and every other detail that you're going to need to know to be forthright, effective, and hold each other accountable in your child custody situation. Or else you're going to play this game and the other side's going to play this game, and you're holding the child and then they're holding the child. And guess who loses in the end of that? The child. So y'all need to get something done ASAP. I hope this question is merely the jump off for you guys to start exploring legitimate options and long-term solutions regarding your custody and visitation schedule. If you found this helpful, you can certainly like, comment, or subscribe through the buttons and links below. In the meantime, I look forward to following up with some more answers on AVO, some more information about how we can help you be effective in your child custody case, whether you're a committed parent, caring relative, or anywhere in between. So thanks again, guys. Look forward to speaking soon.